a pleasure. So, we are going to be learning about some interesting things related with communication skills. So, I'm sure as communicators, we are already, because we are in this education field, so we must be already aware about some nuances about communication. Would anybody like to share? What is your understanding of communication, or how do you perceive communication, or is talking same as communicating? When
Yes,
we
you can
talk,
answer in Hindi also. हिंदी और
ah,
इंग्लिश दोनों आप बोल सकते हैं.
yes,
Yes, man,
yes,
I would like to try.
yeah,
Communication to me is that whatever idea is there in our mind,
uh-huh,
communicating or just
uh-huh.
transmitting those ideas
I think your
in the way
voice is
that he
breaking, ma'am.
understands. So, well, that is a good communication, we can say.
Ma'am, your
Is it
voice
okay now?
drops in between.
Okay, I'll just
Yeah,
get
if you
another.
could just repeat.
Yeah. Communication to me is that whatever idea is there in our mind, communicating or transmitting those ideas to the other person whom we are communicating in such a way that he or she understands very well, is that the communication is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very, very correct. What is the difference between talking and communicating? Because what do we do when we talk? We are expressing our ideas, we are expressing ourselves. So, what could be the difference between the two? In talking, also, we are expressing ourselves, conveying our ideas, conveying our thoughts, expressions, and so I'll tell you. In talking, we are not looking for a feedback. We may talk, we may convey what we have in our hearts, and then we are not actually pondering over the response, whether we get the right response, whether we get a response, और हमारे पास response आता ही नहीं है, हमें उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. As long as I have spoken, I'm happy with it. So communicating is a very sought after skill. क्योंकि because now we are in the 21st century. So let me start with my presentation. So because we are in the 21st century, 21st century is like we are in a new century, and there are many, many things which we have to change because we cannot continue delivering the way maybe we have been doing. So, what is education in the 21st century like? So, there are four key skills, and communication is the topmost skill, number one skill. Because if you are a good communicator, that means you are being understood. People are not misinterpreting. क्योंकि communication के साथ हमें ये भी समझना चाहिए कि when communication is not taking place, miscommunication is taking place. So if I'm not being understood, that means I'm being misunderstood. So every time I'm trying to convey something, either my message is going the right way or my message is being misinterpreted. तो सोचिए जब misunderstanding होती है तो we have such a huge challenge कि अब हमें इस misunderstanding को ठीक करना है क्योंकि somewhere the communication process went haywire. So, as educators, as whether we are at workplace or at home, wherever we may be, but this, if we understand this process of communication, it is definitely going to help us become a better version of ourselves. So, I think again, I'm wishing a very good afternoon to all the wonderful education workforce gathered here today. And let's understand the most important skill of the 21st century, which is all about communication. Actually, there are four prominent skills. That is communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. You must have heard of it, but we are going to be understanding a little about communication. and we will make it an interactive session. So please feel free to ask or intervene or add some points from your side, or be free to share your feedback. So, like, अगर हमारे पास understanding, if we are being understood, है ना, the right way, the way we, the people put see us, जैसे हम हैं, जितनी हमारे अंदर goodness है, उतनी ही goodness अगर बाहर वाले को भी दिख जाए, and people also treat us with the same respect, with the same viewpoint, with the same, with the same vision, then my task becomes very clear, because there is a clear flow of understanding. Most of the times आप सो देखिएगा कि लाइफ में हमारे challenges ही इसलिए आते हैं क्योंकि मैं जैसी हूँ वैसा मुझे समझा नहीं जा रहा, लोग मुझे मिसइंटरप्रेट कर रहे हैं, मैंने तो ये कहा ही नहीं था, बट आई डोंट नो, पीपल आर थिंकिंग दैट मे बी आई मेंट दिस. तो so many times we are caught in this web of misunderstanding and trying to clarify a point of view. I didn't mean this, I didn't say this, but there was something which we must have communicated unknowingly. So थोड़ी थोड़ी इसके nuances हैं which we have to understand so that we can become wiser in the way we are carrying out a conversation. So communication is going on at all times, whether we realize it or not. अगर आप ट्रैफिक पे अगर आप गाड़ी चला रहे हैं और गाड़ी पे आपको ओवरटेक करना है, and somebody is giving you a right indicator, आप आगे गाड़ी पास आप उसको ओवरटेक कर सकते हैं. अगर आपके पास सिग्नल दिख रहा है आपको, रेड लाइट, ग्रीन लाइट, येलो लाइट, तो आप ऑटोमेटिकली उस सिग्नल को समझ के यू आर टेकिंग द एक्शन. सो कम्युनिकेशन इज गोइंग ऑन देयर आल्सो. We, when we have pets at home, the way they love us, maybe we don't share the language, communication is there also. कभी कभी आंखों का एक गुस्सा भरा सिग्नल आपको इतना डरा देता है कि वर्ड्स उसके लिए कम पड़ जाते हैं, तो वो भी कम्युनिकेशन है. So it is very important to understand that communication is not only in words. Like right now, if I am sharing something with everyone here, मेरी भाषा तो है, शब्द तो है, पर शब्दों के साथ साथ you may be looking at my facial expressions, you may be looking at my body language, my hands are also trying to convey something. So it is a package. If I am speaking, but my eyes are not conveying the enthusiasm that I wish to portray, communication will again change into something, maybe miscommunication, because these are the only two conditions. Either you communicate or you miscommunicate. There cannot be anything in between. Half communicated is also miscommunicated. And in this online, I mean, timings of online education, there is so much that we have to convey, sometimes through online, sometimes offline. And when you are interacting with students in the class, outside the class, counseling them, advising them, guiding them, motivating them, conducting meetings, staff meetings, maybe your presentation, anything, communication is everywhere, everywhere. So without communication, whether at home, even when we are eating, the way we are eating is also communicating something. Whether I'm paying attention to the food that I'm putting in my mouth, or whether I'm just gobbling it down carelessly. अगर मेरा ध्यान भोजन पर है, that means I'm concentrating in what I'm doing. But if I'm just doing it carelessly, तो मैंने ये communicate कर दिया कि I'm thinking of something else. So it's going on at all times. So behavior, the way we behave becomes our communication style, or the communication style becomes our behavior. Audio video is not clear. Ma'am, Preeti ma'am, is audio video not clear?
Clear, ma'am, clear. It is very much clear.
Ma'am, are you watching from your mobile? Are you connected through your mobile? Then So let's understand the first and very okay. Thank you so much, Swati ma'am. Yes. So let's really understand that communication is much more than what we just speak. It's not only limited to what we speak, it is much, much more than that. It is how we speak, not only what we speak, but how we speak. So let's see, like, how is what is talking? When we are talking, we are giving information and we don't need a response. So we don't think we need a response. I may just be talking, talking, talking. So, like, suppose this session is going on. I may just talk for 1.5 hours and may not take any feedback. That would be talking. I saw one mother addressing her child. उनसे 2 घंटे तक वो बातें करती रही. At the end of it, I asked this mom, did the child understand anything? She said, no, I don't think so. So what has the child done? What has the mom done? Again, I'm getting a message that it's not clear. Pramila ma'am, I think. Maybe ma'am, could you check your internet connectivity? Because I can see the faces here clearly and I think I'm audible and loud and clear. Yes, again, thank you, thank you. So, when I'm just giving information and I'm not looking for a response, I'm talking. तो जैसे आप किसी कभी भी आप घर में भी किसी को समझा रहे हैं, जैसे ये माता जी अपने बच्चे को समझा रही थी, 2 घंटे तक उन्होंने समझाया समझाया समझाया, और उसके बाद वो रूम से आ गई कि भाई रूम में समझा रहे हैं, अब हो गया मेरा समझाना. मैंने कहा ये समझाना था कि खाली बताना था? बच्चे को कुछ समझ में आया कि नहीं आया? अगर बच्चे को समझ में आया है तो आपने कम्युनिकेट किया है, पर अगर आपने खाली बोला है तो यू हैव ओनली टॉक्ड, यू हैव कम्युनिकेटेड नथिंग. सो दैट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द टू. और आप कैसे समझ सकते हैं कि आपकी बात असरदार है कि नहीं है? आप पूछ सकते हैं कि जो मैंने आपको बताया, क्या आप मुझे समझा सकते हैं कि आपके अनुसार ये क्या-क्या बातें हमने डिस्कस की? तो हमारे पास थोड़ा-सा क्लियर फीडबैक आ जाएगा कि whatever I was trying to say, whether it has been grasped, whether it has been understood or not. So giving information without the need. Can you see my screen? Is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So right now you can see on my screen that giving information without the need of a response is just talking. Sometimes talking works. Sometimes talking does not work. So we have to remember this. और communication में क्या हो रहा है कि जो हमारे verbal और non-verbal exchange of information है, जिसमें मुझे आपके response की जरूरत है, that is, and the transmission of message is successful, then it is communication. So if I've successfully communicated the meaning of communication, then you can just give me a thumbs up or a yes. Have you understood the difference between talking and communicating? Talking could be yes, yes, so successful. So this feedback is very important. If this feedback comes as thumbs down, that means I have failed somewhere. I've only talked and talked and talked and no communication has taken place. So at every point, it is very important to understand how the other person is receiving the information. Okay, so now we will come to the next point. So this is, this process is going on at all times. We are talking, we are constantly sharing some information, some common topics. तो अभी हम आएंगे उस पे. तो actually what's happening? See, when I'm speaking something here, the first figure you can see what I mean, what I want to convey. So what is it that I'm trying to convey? The message, the information is going to receive, you are going to receive that information. तो मैं यहाँ से कुछ इनकोड करके भेज रही हूँ, आप उसको डिकोड कर रहे हैं, and you are looking at the body language. You are looking at, you are listening to my words. So आपके खाली ears ही नहीं involved है, आपकी eyes भी involved है. And then you are trying to understand what is the true meaning. And then you are giving me a feedback. So this is the process of communication. The message is being sent, the message is being understood, the feedback is as you want it to be, the process is complete. But if there's something going wrong somewhere, so remember, it is not communication then, it is miscommunication. तो दोनों चीजें हमें पता होनी चाहिए. What are we actually doing? Are we communicating? Or we are miscommunicating, as simple as that. There is no other way. So how do we do it? How do we, express ourselves? So very important, usually we have a lot of knowledge with us. Itni sari knowledge. We are very, very rich with information. But when we try to express that information, हमारे सारे शब्द खाली काम नहीं कर सकते. If I'm good with information and I'm just delivering the information, the other person may receive a fraction of it. तो मुझे उसके साथ थोड़े तड़का लगाकर I have to present those words. I cannot present them plain, simple, शब्दों को नहीं. शब्दों की थोड़ी सी मात्रा है. उसके साथ what is important is how am I presenting those words? How enthusiastic am I? How convinced am I? How engrossed am I? How much how much am how much is my understanding of those words? So when I am delivering with that conviction, how I say it is more important than what I say. So what I say is given just 7%. The information that I have is only 7%. But the way one is presenting that information, my voice, my tone, my modulation, my fluency, this is 38%. And the way I am presenting, my facial expressions, my body language is 55%. So whenever you are communicating, you may be very, very good with all the information that you have, but the manner in which you are presenting it, your voice modulation, your uh, your volume, your pitching, your tone, ये सब बहुत important है. So when these match with the words that you speak, the communication process is going to be more effective and coupled with body language. So suppose, for example, I'll give you an example. If a child comes to you and says, ma'am, I'm so sorry, I broke that laptop yesterday. अब क्या होगा कि वो तो सही वर्ड्स बोल रहा है. आई एम सॉरी, आई ब्रोक दैट लैपटॉप यस्टरडे. सही वर्ड्स है कि भाई मेरे से गलती हो गई, मैं उसके लिए माफी चाहता हूं. पर किस तरीके से वो बोल रहा है, हंस के बोल रहा है, आई एम सॉरी, तो आप बोलोगे ओ माय गॉड, आई एम सॉरी, दिस इज नॉट द वे यू से सॉरी. So how you say it is also important. If the child comes and says, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm sorry that I broke that laptop yesterday. Now the voice is matching, the feeling is matching, the body language is matching, everything is matching with the words being spoken. So it is going to be communicated in the right way. और अगर वहां पे शब्द हैं, आई एम सॉरी, फीलिंग है ऑफ हैप्पीनेस, then you will say, oh, it doesn't match, that means you are not sorry. तुम्हारी body language से तुम खुश लग रहे हो, तुम्हारे शब्दों से तुम sorry बोल रहे हो, there is a mismatch. So that means I'll rather believe your body language than what you are saying, and I don't think you are sorry then, because there is a mismatch. So communication failed. So if I say that I'm happy, then I have to look happy, because happiness and expressions, if they are matching together, you will say, okay, yes, you look happy, you sound happy, you are happy. But if I say, I'm happy, then you'll say, oh, the words say you are happy, but your body language says you are not happy. There's a mismatch. People will believe the body language, they will not believe the words I say. तो इसलिए लोग शब्दों को कम महत्ता देते हैं. Words, because if I'm saying I'm happy, you should believe that I'm happy whether my body language says otherwise, but you will not believe it. तो पावरफुल क्या हो गई? बॉडी लैंग्वेज. पावरफुल क्या हो गई? मेरी आवाज और मेरे शब्द हो गए कम. So that is why always remember, whenever we are expressing something, it is the words play a small role. How we say those words, in what manner are we saying those words, and with what body language are we saying those words, that becomes more crucial and more important. I hope this point is clear. 7%, 38%, and 55%. So words are verbal. शब्द होते हैं verbal. So any kind of verbal communication, जैसे आपने किसी से पूछा कि could you please tell me what the time is, and the person says ऐसे ही खाली उन्होंने बोला, टाइम नहीं बताया, बस कर दिया. तो ये का साउंड भी वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन है. पर इफ द पर्सन जस्ट से कुड यू प्लीज टेल मी, द पर्सन सेज, जस्ट हेड से नॉट कर दिया कि नो आई कांट टेल, दैट इज नॉन वर्बल. तो जहां साउंड है वहां वर्बल है, जहां साउंड नहीं है वहां नॉन वर्बल है. इज दिस क्लियर? पर वर्बल भी खाली वर्बल शब्दों से नहीं चलेगा. उस वर्बल के साथ थोड़े एक्सेसरीज आते हैं, और वो एक्सेसरीज होते हैं पैरावर्बल, जो कि उन शब्दों में जान डाल देते हैं. तो अब जैसे आप एक बर्ड को सोचिए, अब बर्ड है तो वो वर्ड्स है, पर बर्ड के तो विंग्स होते हैं जो बर्ड को ऊंचाई पे ले जा सकते हैं. तो हमारे शब्दों में भी शब्दों का जो लहजा है, शब्दों का जो बोलने का तरीका है, वो उन शब्दों को ऊंचाई पे ले जाएंगे. सो खाली शब्द हमारे शायद जमीन पर ही रह जाए, क्योंकि बर्ड विदाउट विंग्स इज गोइंग टू बी ऑन द ग्राउंड, बट द मोमेंट यू गिव द बर्ड द विंग्स, द बर्ड इज गोइंग टू फ्लाई. सो हमारे शब्द भी फ्लैट जमीन पर आ जाएंगे अगर हमने उनको टोन से नहीं सजाया, अगर मॉड्यूलेशन से नहीं सजाया, पिचिंग से नहीं सजाया, तो हमारे शब्द ऊंचाई पे नहीं जा पाएंगे वेयर वी वांट इट टू बी. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि शब्दों के साथ आपको क्या अटैच करना है, वर्बल के साथ पैरावर्बल, और नॉन वर्बल का ध्यान रखना है जब हम शब्दों को बोल रहे हैं. Is it clear? Verbal and paraverbal will go together, but paraverbal, verbal have to match with non-verbal. ये तीनों चीजें सिंक में होनी चाहिए, तो हम इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेटर्स हो सकते हैं. अगर इनमें से कोई भी मिसमैच हो गया, तो फिर मेरी मीनिंग को गलत इंटरप्रिटेशन दे दी जाएगी. जैसे मैं कहूंगी कि आई एम सॉरी, आप बोलेंगे ओहो, यू आर नॉट सॉरी. है ना? क्लियर हुआ ये कि क्या बोल रहे हैं हम, वर्बल, पैरावर्बल और नॉन वर्बल को? अगर ठीक है तो मुझे थम्स अप दीजिए. दिस इज योर कम्युनिकेशन. You are letting me know if the difference is clear, and if the difference is not clear, you could ask questions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So paraverbal verbal, paraverbal, and non-verbal. So these are the three important components of our communication. ये देखिए, तो 7%। अब ये इसके पहले आपने देखा होगा कि कम्युनिकेशन स्किल, तो स्किल का भी मतलब क्या होता है हमें ये भी जानना चाहिए, क्योंकि हम खाली कम्युनिकेशन के बारे में सीख ले और उसके बाद व्हाट डू वी डू नेक्स्ट। सो किसी भी स्किल को अगर हम जानते हैं या किसी भी स्किल के बारे में हम पहली बार, जैसे आपने ड्राइव करना सीखा होगा या आपने कुकिंग सीखी होगी, तो फर्स्ट डे तो आप ऐसा नहीं होगा, या आपने स्विमिंग सीखी होगी तो फर्स्ट डे तो ऐसा नहीं होगा कि यू जस्ट सैट बिहाइंड द स्टीयरिंग व्हील एंड देन यू जस्ट स्टार्टेड ड्राइविंग। पहले दिन आपने क्या किया होगा, पहले आपने उसके गाड़ी गाड़ी के पार्ट सीखे होंगे, उनको लर्न किया होगा। यू मस्ट हैव अंडरस्टूड द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ ईच कार पार्ट, accessories, and then very carefully, under the guidance of someone, you must have started driving. ऐसे आपने किसी के guidance के अंदर maybe 15 days किया होगा, and then gradually started getting confidence, and then you were very good at it, you could just do it on your own. तो स्किल भी ऐसी ही है, हर स्किल को, हर कौशल्य को हम ऐसे ही सीखते हैं, धीरे धीरे कदम बढ़ाते हैं, उसको कॉन्शियस एफर्ट्स के साथ आगे बढ़ते हैं। ऐसा नहीं होता कि हमने आज सीख लिया तो अब मेरे को सारे टाइम के लिए आई एम परफेक्ट एट इट, नहीं, हर दिन हम उसको प्रैक्टिस करते रहते हैं with a conscious awareness. और जब हम उसको प्रैक्टिस करते 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 a day comes where we don't have to put any extra conscious effort, it's become a part of my system and I know now how to communicate effectively. तो जब आप शुरू करेंगे ये प्रोसेस, ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले ही दिन आपको सारी चीजें, वॉइस भी, टोन भी, बॉडी लैंग्वेज भी, ये जो दो चार हमने फीचर्स बनाए हैं, पहले ही दिन एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग टू बी परफेक्ट। इट मे नॉट बी, but we have to be patient and we have to give ourselves time, and then gradually when we keep practicing it every day, then you will see the results pouring in. और वो results कैसे pour in करेंगे, दूसरे आपको बताते हैं, I could understand what you were trying to tell me, I could easily get what was the intention behind what you said just now. I am completely in sync with what you have been trying to explain. Children will come and tell you that, ma'am, the way you are explaining things, everything becomes so crystal clear. It's so wonderful. College में, classrooms में, you must be already doing a wonderful job by being excellent communicators. But इंसान के पास ये capability है कि हम अगर already बहुत अच्छे level पे हैं, फिर भी हम एक ऊपर level पे जा सकते हैं. There is no, there is no, I would say, limit for learning. तो आप शायद ऑलरेडी बहुत बहुत अच्छे कम्युनिकेटर्स होंगे, डेफिनेटली, आई एम वेरी श्योर ऑफ इट, बट कुछ कुछ टिप्स एंड टेक्निक से हम और भी बेहतर बन सकते हैं। और आप भी टुवर्ड्स द एंड प्लीज शेयर योर ट्रिक्स एंड टेक्निक्स सो दैट वी ऑल कैन लर्न फ्रॉम ईच अदर। सो द पावर ऑफ वर्ड्स। तो मैं यहाँ पर आपको एक कहानी सुनाना चाहती हूँ। आपने ग्रीक फिलोसोफर सोक्रेटिस के बारे में सुना होगा। तो सोक्रेटिस बहुत ही फेमस फिलोसोफर हैं, और उनके पास एक बहुत ही रिच आदमी आए और अपने पुत्र को लेकर आए, एंड ही सेड, सर, प्लीज लुक एट माय सन, आई वुड लाइक यू टू गाइड हिम। तो Socrates looked at this young boy and he could see the young boy in front of him, but he said, speak so that I may see you. अब शब्दों की क्या जरूरत थी भाई, जब आपको अच्छी खासी पर्सनालिटी सामने दिख रही है, व्हाई डू यू नीड टू लिसन टू दिस पर्सन। तो हमारे जो शब्द हैं, जो बाहरी हमें ढांचा दिख रहा है इंसान का, दैट इज ओनली 10% ऑफ द पर्सनालिटी, 90% इज underneath, which is not on the surface. So that 90% is not visible to anyone. It comes into vision जब हम उस बोलते हैं, हमारे शब्दों से पता चलता है कि what exactly is in our system, what is our value and belief system, what is our thought process, what do we actually what have we imbibed in our own lives. तो ये जो हमारे शब्द होते हैं, ये हमारी पर्सनालिटी को बयां कर देते हैं. Wow, I get that. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's a motivation, and that feedback is really, really very, very appreciated. So thank you so much. So speak so that I may see you. पावर ऑफ वर्ड्स जो है हमारी, हमारे वर्ड्स को हम इजीली इधर उधर नहीं थ्रो कर सकते. शब्द हमारे को डिफाइन करते हैं. If somebody, because whatever I speak, whatever anybody speaks, जैसे हमने आइसबर्ग को देखा है, आइसबर्ग is only the 10% of the real volume of the iceberg. बाकी का iceberg is in the sea, in the water. We cannot see the 90%. We can only see the 10%. तो वो जो 10% होता है, उससे हमको जो छिपा हुआ है वो दिखता नहीं है. तो similarly, what people see on the surface, what you are seeing me on the screen, just my face, and उससे आपको मेरी पर्सनालिटी का कुछ पता नहीं चलेगा. जो पता चलेगा वो बहुत ही फ्रैक्शन का पता चलेगा. But when you hear what the person is sharing, you get to know what the person is all about. So speak so that I may see you. In fact, Socrates said that people who see with their eyes are blind. तो खाली जब हम आंखों से देखते हैं, it may be incomplete. Important thing is to see with the eyes, listen with the ears, and then understand the person who is in front of you, because the words define you. शब्द आपकी परिभाषा है. जो आप हैं वो शब्दों में ढल जाता है. आपका वैल्यू सिस्टम क्या है, आपका बिलीफ सिस्टम क्या है, आपका थॉट प्रोसेस क्या है, आपकी लाइफ में फिलॉसफी क्या है, आपका प्रिंसिपल्स क्या है, एवरीथिंग इज रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द वे वी स्पीक. बिकॉज वो आपकी भाषा बन गए हैं, और भाषा के जरिए ही हम कम्युनिकेट करते हैं. तो मैं तो इस पे आई बिलीव सो स्ट्रांगली इन दिस. इफ वी चेंज द वे वी कम्युनिकेट, और या हम अपने शब्दों की भाषा अगर बदलते हैं, तो वी विल आवरसेल्व्स अंडरगो a huge transformation without even realizing. तो शब्द बड़े पावरफुल होते हैं, एंड वी कैन नॉट just throw them here and there randomly. We have to pick them up like jewels and gems and use them at appropriate places, so that whatever we are sharing adds more value and nothing is wasted. Because words thrown here and there carelessly can cause a lot of damage. Again, होता क्या है कि मिसकम्युनिकेट. मैंने बोल दिया पर मेरा वो मतलब नहीं था. नाउ द अदर पर्सन इज गोइंग टू स्टिक टू दैट कि तुमने बोला क्यों, तुमने बोला क्यों. मैंने बोल दिया बट आई डिडंट मीन इट, सो व्हाई से इट. बिकॉज इफ वी आर स्पीकिंग समथिंग, it has to be relevant, meaningful, important, and significant. So words have a lot of power, and we as educators need to understand this, because we are the role models for these children, for these students, and they are looking at us and learning. So the way we are conducting ourselves is actually sending a message to the young generation, क्योंकि उस यंग जनरेशन को पता नहीं है कि व्हाट एडल्ट्स लुक लाइक. रोल मॉडल, मॉडल में क्या होता है, हम किसी भी चीज का मॉडल देखते हैं तो हमें पता चल जाता है कि रियल क्या होगा. जैसे आपने कार का मॉडल देख लिया, then you are impressed with the model, and then you go and buy the real car because they both are alike. You want to construct a house, you first build a model, and when the model is in place you can have the exact replica, the real house. So these youngsters who are in our classrooms, they don't know what grown-ups are like. They are looking at us because one day they are going to follow our shoes. So they model our behavior. They become like us. So it is very important that we become aware of this responsibility and the way we want these children to be. If we start modeling that behavior, then we don't need to check children on anything. They will just be the way you want them to be. So this vision we have to have in clarity. तो जहाँ जहाँ आपकी वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन आती हैं, आपकी मीटिंग्स हो सकती हैं, आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन लेक्चर्स हो सकती हैं, आपकी वर्कशॉप्स हो सकती हैं, when you are carrying out your conversations with these youngsters, with your colleagues, with your family members, again be very careful of this fact whether the messages are being transferred the right way, or if they are not being transferred the right way, that means there is something going wrong somewhere. Communication is changing to miscommunication. So take a note there. Let this bell alarm you. Okay, there's something I need to change. So that is important. So whenever we are speaking, like I said, paraverbal mein, what should we be careful about? We should be careful about the tone. Now, what's the tone? Tone is like I'm speaking at a certain tone. So, calm tone when we are not hyper, when we are not anxious, when we are not nervous. अब इसी चीज को अगर मेरे पास suddenly some emergency comes up, my tone will change. Oh, I may get panicky, I may get nervous, I may get anxious, and it will reflect in the way I speak because my tone is going to change. If I'm angry, if I'm upset, if I'm frustrated, that will also show in my tone. If I want to ridicule someone, if I want to be sarcastic, that will also show in my tone. So my tone varies depending upon my mood. मेरा मूड अच्छा है तो मेरी टोन भी अच्छी है, मेरा मूड गड़बड़ हो गया तो पता भी नहीं चलता, टोन sarcastic हो जाती है sometimes, just a अच्छा, that can also be a sarcasm. So and then we may say, oh, somebody will say, अच्छा तुम sarcastic हो रहे हो? नहीं नहीं, I'm not sarcastic, but your tone said it. So we will say, oh, unknowingly, I didn't mean it. So there is going to be now a big chain of understanding and misunderstanding and clarifying and, giving clarifications. So इसलिए tone का हमेशा careful रहना चाहिए. And even if you are scolding somebody or if you are angry with somebody and you want to give some correction feedback, always maintain the tone. Don't let go this tone loosely, क्योंकि ये tone बड़े बड़ा damage कर देती है. Sometimes the right word spoken in the wrong turn wrong tone can spoil everything. Okay, thank you so much. Your feedback is so important. That means some kind of communication is taking place. Thank you so much. That is what this all is about. And that is why I'm so happy that we got this opportunity to do this today. Yes. Again, the volume. Oh, thank you so much. It truly matters, your feedback. Then the volume. I'm so thankful to you. So, so thankful because you are taking out time to show that it matters. Deepest gratitude. Deepest gratitude. Yes. Thank you so much. So, the volume. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. So, when then we come to the next key no point, that is volume. So, volume. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, we will. You can. I mean, we will go to these comments towards the end of the session also. Please keep sharing. I will just continue with the session because otherwise हमारी जो इतनी सारी चीजें सीखने की हैं वो आ जाए सारी, है ना? थैंक यू सो मच. सो वॉल्यूम, वॉल्यूम कैसा होता है कि वॉल्यूम, यस, सो वॉल्यूम इज मेरी आवाज का जो, जैसे हम टीवी टेलीविजन पे यू वांट टू लिसन टू समथिंग, लैपटॉप पे यू वांट टू लिसन टू समथिंग, audibility. Volume is all about audibility. So whenever we are speaking, we need to be very careful whether we are speaking in the right volume or not. जैसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं, तो my volume needs to be higher. But when there is a smaller gathering, I need not raise my volume. If I'm talking one to one with someone, so volume needs to be low. So, ये flexibility and understanding in the ranges of volume is extremely important. I cannot be shouting at the top of my voice at all times because my vocal cords, I always say that educators and facilitators have this voice, all of us have this voice box, but हमारे लिए ये बहुत important है because this is the tool for us. How do we influence young minds? How do we convey our ideas? It is through the usage of this voice box. This is the tool for us. So just a carpenter, if the carpenter needs to make a table, उसको चाहिए hammer and nails. हमको क्या चाहिए? हमको चाहिए अपना गला, अपनी आवाज, अपना वॉल्यूम. तो अगर हम अपने वॉल्यूम को, वोकल कॉर्ड्स को प्रिजर्व करके रखेंगे तो हमारी वॉइस क्वालिटी विल बिकम बेटर एंड बेटर. So volume ko bhi, just because I have this ability to be very high on volume does not mean that I have to always keep being that high on volume. जहां पे लो करना है लो कीजिए, क्योंकि वोकल कॉर्ड्स आपकी प्रिजर्व होंगी in that. They will not get strained, they will not get stressed. So take care of our, we should really pay attention to our vocal cords and let them not get strained too much, because a lot of energy goes in speaking. So unnecessarily, so keep the volume at the optimum level always, and keep a check here so that the control is not going, beyond measure. It is within control, so your energy is saved. And with the right volume and the right tone, when you give instructions, those instructions are going to be followed. Otherwise, we may scream and give an instruction and that may still get ignored. So the kind of word choice that we are actually putting into practice, that needs to be thought of very carefully. And the speed at which I am speaking, I cannot be speaking too fast, because if I say this is early, then nothing may be understood and everything will be a big haywire, and then whatever, we won't even know where we are going. अब क्या हो गया? अब इस speed पे तो nothing will be understood. So each word has to be thought of and expressed in the right speed, with the right tone, and in the right volume, and with the correct modulation. Is it clear? So, अच्छा, modulation में भी I'll just tell you what is modulation. Pitching होती है. तो सिंगिंग में भी जैसे होता है ना कि लाइक why are we so fond of listening to songs? Because उनमें मेलेडी होती है. मेलोडी माने आवाज का खूबसूरत वेरिएशन होता है, आवाज घूमती है और उस आवाज के घूमने से दिमाग को बहुत अच्छा लगता है. एंड देयर इज सच ब्यूटीफुल मेलोडी क्रिएटेड, we are just lost in those beautiful sounds. तो हम जब बोलते हैं तो बोलने में भी दिस पिचिंग इज देयर. ऐसा नहीं है खाली सिंगिंग में पिचिंग है, बोलने में भी sometimes we are speaking from a high pitch and then going down to a low pitch, like how I am going, and then I start with a high pitch and then I'm going down to a low pitch. तो high pitch से low pitch ऐसा ये पिचिंग चल रही है. अगर मैं ऐसे ही एक ही टोन पे बोलती रहूंगी, दिस इज हाई पिच हाई पिच हाई पिच, अगर मैं इसी टोन में बोलती रहूंगी, दिस इज लो पिच लो पिच लो पिच, तो ये लो पिच भी नहीं चलेगी और ऑलवेज हाई पिच भी नहीं चलेगी. तो whenever we are speaking, it is a combination of shuffling between high pitch and low pitch. And then when this my voice modulation is in place, तो कानों को सुनने में अच्छा लगता है. And when we are happy listening to something, we want to listen to it. So, and if we are not happy, we will just shut our brains and we may just avoid listening to it. So, because we are, speaking so much, let us put this into practice. How do we manage our voice modulation? So, usually, I'll just give you one tip. Whenever we are starting and you can notice this in as I'm speaking, so that it becomes like a practical experience for you also. So whenever I start, and most of the times we are doing this, we will start with a sentence on a high pitch and then we will close it at a low pitch. So jab low pitch aati hai, so the mind also becomes active. Okay, now the low pitch has come, that means the sentence is about to end, and then I'll start the next sentence on a high pitch, and then we will talk about something. And by the end of it, when we are coming to the closing of sentence, again the voice will drop. So the brain is getting used to it, how the next sentence is starting, how the next sentence is ending, and then the processing of the information is more effective. All right, so this was all about tone, volume, word choice, and speed. And we go to the next segment now. So always remember, it is not only what to say, it is also how to say. And to whom are we saying? What is the right time to say it? And along with knowing what we should say, we should also know what we should not say. We should not say words which would hurt others. We should not say words which could be misinterpreted. We should not say words about which we ourselves are not sure. We should avoid words which could be negative. So, just, speaking positive, spreading positivity, spreading happiness can make us feel so much better about ourselves. And about, the others are also going to be very happy when we are around them, because we are adding value into wherever we may be. Okay, so these were some of the points. Now, very important points. So this was all about speaking. But communication is not only about speaking. Like, I am one person speaking from here, but you are listening and you are giving me a feedback. So, because you are such effective, wonderful, patient listeners, I am getting this encouragement to put in more and more from my side. Without listening, how can communication take place? So, because we interact with the students at all times, we should know what kind of listeners they are, and we should know whenever you are speaking with anybody, what kind of a listener is there right in front of you. That is extremely crucial. So there are different stages. So some people may just be ignoring. So this is all about speaking. Now, listening. Very important. Some people will just not make any effort to listen. They will ignore, and these people are very easy to identify because their faces are somewhere else, they are looking somewhere else, their attention is somewhere else, and you know that they are ignoring you. So they are not difficult to spot. You know that these children or these people are ignoring what I'm saying because the body language is telling you. But the dangerous people are who are pretending to listen. So they will show that they are interested, but they may not be. Then there's another category who will listen to only partial information. वो सारी बातों को सुनेंगे ही नहीं. Again, very dangerous. So we should be careful of them. Attentive listeners are, paying attention to what you are speaking. But attentive से भी ज्यादा important आज एक और है, empathy and empathetic listeners. Empathetic listeners listen for the words and for the intent. So I'll tell you. how is empathetic listening? जब भी हमसे कोई कोई बात करता है तो वो कुछ ना कुछ हमें अपने दिल का बयां कर रहे हैं ना, वो हमें शब्दों से खाली शब्द ही नहीं बता रहे हैं. द पर्सन वांट्स अस टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ द पर्सन इज फीलिंग. तो उनके शब्दों के द्वारा वो क्या एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हैं, उनकी फीलिंग, उनकी दशा, उनकी कंडीशन. अब अगर हमने वो सही तरीके से शब्दों को और फीलिंग को समझ लिया तो एम्पैथेटिक लिसनिंग हो गई. पर अगर मैं खाली शब्दों के रिगमारोल में रह गई कि तुम्हारे शब्दों का ये मतलब है, शब्दों का मतलब है, फीलिंग्स को इग्नोर कर दिया, तो इट इज नॉट एम्पैथी. So sometimes, suppose a child calls you up and says, I am not feeling well. अब आई एम नॉट फीलिंग वेल में आपकी आवाज भी डाउन है, फीलिंग ऑफ सैडनेस है, डिस्पेयर है, डिजेक्शन है, डिप्रेशन है, और शब्द भी बोल रहे हैं आई एम नॉट फीलिंग वेल. तो मुझे ऐसे में क्या करना चाहिए? तो आई जस्ट से, ओ यू आर नॉट फीलिंग वेल. What did I do? I just mimicked the content and I reflected the same feeling. Okay, so what would you like to do about it with the same feeling? So the child from the other end said, I would like to talk about it. Okay, I'm ready to listen. And I listened to the whole thing very, very patiently. And after some time, I said, okay, if you are still not feeling well, shall we go to the doctor? No, 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 no. Now I'm feeling better. Now everything is okay and I'm feeling better. So just because the person was listened to empathetically with the same feeling, with the same intent, and that was all that was needed. So listening is that big a skill कि दिल का हाल सुन लीजिए सही तरीके से, सही भावना से, सही शब्दों को समझ के, half of the problems are solved. But most of the times we don't listen. So let's understand, what do we do? What are people doing most of the times? People are not listening with the intent to understand. People listen with the intent to reply. अब इसने ये बोल दिया, अब मुझे क्या बोलना है? या तो हम उनकी बातों के बाद बोलने के लिए तैयार हो रहे हैं, बस या तो हम बोल रहे हैं और या फिर हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि ये कब बंद होगा और हमारा कब शुरू होगा. तो कोई भी इंसान आजकल सुन नहीं रहा है एक दूसरे की बातों को, और इसलिए कम्युनिकेशन का प्रोसेस होता जा रहा है और इसीलिए मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ती जा रही है. बिकॉज वी डू biography, through our own paradigms, through our own lenses, कि मेरी लाइफ में तो ऐसा नहीं होता है, या मेरी लाइफ में तो ऐसा होता है, या मेरी लाइफ में ऐसा हो सकता है, या मेरी लाइफ में ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. तो हम मेरी लाइफ को छोड़ के, अगर इफ यू जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट द अदर पर्सन इज ट्राइंग टू शेयर और ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्रेस, तो एम्पैथी है. Empathy is all about, we know what is empathy. Empathy is about putting yourself in the shoes of the other person. So whenever we are listening to somebody, if I can understand this, then it would be the correct, effective communication. But agar if I cannot understand this, then there is something missing. So it is not only in speaking, it is also in receiving the information. How are we doing it? I'll just give you an example. A very rich man was traveling in a first class compartment, first AC, and very old, very snooty people were sitting in that coach. Suddenly another rich man came with two children. बहुत ही बदमाश, शैतान और बदतमीज टाइप के बच्चे थे वो, और बहुत ज्यादा हल्ला गुल्ला कर रहे थे और सबको डिस्टर्ब कर रहे थे. And this father was just lost. He was not doing anything to these children. He was not saying anything. The other people were very upset. They said, अरे तो one of them he decided to ask this father कि आपको दिख नहीं रहा आपके बच्चे इतने शैतानी कर रहे हैं और हल्ला गुल्ला कर रहे हैं सबको डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं. So this man said, this father said, oh, I didn't even realize that, we are coming from the hospital and their mother just passed away. So the moment this was revealed, everything changed, the perception changed. और जहां पर पहले गुस्सा आ रहा था अब वहां पे empathy आ गई कि okay, I understand what is the reason behind this behavior. So empathy is that understanding. Why is somebody speaking like this? What could be the reason behind it? What is the person trying to express? कई बार हमें नहीं पता चलता है वो reason. But even then, if we are listening patiently, if we are listening with our heart and mind, then we'll be able to understand. Okay, so is listening and speaking के दो aspects, are they clear that we have to be effective speakers and we also have to be effective listeners? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. You all have been such effective listeners. आप लोग सुन रहे हैं इतनी बातें. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because yes, it truly matters. Because you are listening. That is why this is turning effective. अगर आप नहीं सुनेंगे तो फिर whatever I say is not going to make any difference. Yes. So what are the, thank you so much for sharing your feedback. So, what should we remember? We should remember to speak at a, oh, so much. I mean, deepest gratitude. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, what should we remember? We should remember to speak at a steady pace. Steady pace. Speed. मैंने बोला था ना कि एक ऐसी लगातार गति से बोलते रहना चाहिए जो कि बहुत ज्यादा फास्ट न हो और बहुत ज्यादा स्लो भी ना हो. It has to be a steady pace. So it, and then also value what the other person's point of view is. That is very important for understanding. So don't belittle. किसी को भी हम कम नहीं समझ सकते. There are certain people who have this ability to make people feel small. I don't know how do they do it. So never, never, never belittle, because respecting and treasuring each individual is very, very important. We should never be aggressive in our conversations and even in our body language. So don't belittle, don't use aggressive tone of voice or body language, don't interrupt. Interruptions भी नहीं होने चाहिए, क्योंकि जब हम सुन रहे हैं तो सुनने में वो continuity break हो जाएगी what the other person is trying to say. So these are some of the key points that we should always remember communication के what to do and what not to do. तो कुछ कुछ simple आपके tips हैं. अगर आप क्वेश्चंस पूछना चाहते हैं आप क्वेश्चंस भी पूछ सकते हैं. Towards the session we will have 15 minutes for question answers also. So simple tips how to start working at your verbal communication skills, very very important. So आपको friendly होना है. Friendly tone तो हम सबके पास रहती है, but थोड़ा सा thinking before we talk, and there should be clarity in what we are expressing and true to the heart, no pretensions. Confidence is important, and also listening to what others are saying. So hearing and listening mein there's a difference. Here is when we are hearing, माने उसमें हमारा ध्यान नहीं जाता है. We can hear so many sounds around us, but listening is where the mind is, where the attention is, where the focus is. So we may hear what others are saying, and at some places we may have to listen very attentively. And in some places we have to be very empathetically listening. So listening भी अलग अलग type की होती है, very important. All right, so wonderful session, ma'am. Oh, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your comments are very, very important. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So, इसमें भी अब ये हमने थोड़ा थैंक यू सो हमने थोड़ा वर्बल के बारे में सुना. अब हमें थोड़ा सा नॉन वर्बल के बारे में भी जानना चाहिए, बिकॉज नॉन वर्बल क्लूज जो भी होते हैं ना, वो भी कभी कभी हमारे अनजाने में हम नॉन वर्बल क्लूज ऐसे दे जाते हैं विच आर misunderstood. So let's understand. So this is verbal communication where you can see the two images where one person is talking and the other person is listening. That is verbal communication. And non-verbal is just shaking of hands, just nodding the head, जैसे thank you so much. So थोड़ा सा thank you, I mean deepest gratitude, क्योंकि आप लोग इतने effective listeners हैं. That is why this session is having some relevance because of your effective listening skills. Thank you so much. So, non-verbal we may not say anything, but just the shaking of hand, just the glance of the eye, just the smile, just the anger, all this can convey a lot. Our expressions can convey so much. So let us understand little about non-verbal. There's nothing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So they like this image is there. Now, what do you see? Not a word spoken. Nothing. This is just the image. But the image conveys. There are no words. Nothing is there. But it is a non-verbal communication. We can see with the expressions that this person may be in a little despair, maybe sad, upset, down. Say maybe something has happened which is making him feel a little low, and this lady is trying to encourage him. So just the words, just the thank you so much. So just these the expressions are conveying everything. So non-verbal language, remember, is 55% of your communication. So what we say is very important, but what we don't say is also important. Sometimes silence also speaks. So every time, so communication, whether we say something or we don't say something, our body language is speaking at all times, whether we realize it or not. And so this awareness, what is my body language expressing? What am I conveying? So even if I'm just sitting at my place, I have seen one parent and daughter, mom and daughter. So daughter was preparing for her competitive exam, and mom would just want her mom to be around. Are, but when you are preparing for your NEET examination, why do you want your mom to be with you at all times? आप अपनी पढ़ाई करो, मम्मी क्या करेंगी? मम्मी से पॉजिटिव एनर्जी आती है. अब मम्मी कुछ नहीं कर रही है. It is just body language, because if you are thinking positive, your body language is going to be positive, your energy, your aura is going to be positive. So if somebody is nervous, somebody is low, somebody is shaky, somebody is anxious, your body language can put that person at ease. That is the power each one of us has. And that is non-verbal communication. So without saying a word, you can communicate so much with your positivity. And the same, agar aapki negativity hai, so that can also be transferred. So with certain people around, we feel so positive because the aura is such, their personality is such, their perception is such that you are filled with a lot of enthusiasm and confidence just because of their body language. And some people may just put you down. So that is the power. So we have to understand this. So now, again, in this image, no words, just the expressions. The first image is looking so super duper happy, you would also always want to be in the company of such a person. The second person is contemplating, ho sakta hai aisa bhi waisa bhi, and the third person with the scowl. So no words spoken, but the body language. And the moment we decide to be positive, the moment we decide to be happy, every cell in the body responds accordingly. And if I decide to be negative, even every cell in the body will respond to that also. So it's all the choice that I make in a certain moment. Like animals, when they are given this, if they are given a stimulus, if they are given food, they have no control over the response. They are going to show a certain response, whether they like it or not. It is going to be there. But with human beings, there is a there is this ability to choose, and we have this freedom to choose, and we can decide what do we want to be. So very, very important. Preeti ma'am, I just wanted to know, this session is going to be till 4, or we can just take
4:15, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can
5
extend
minutes.
5-10 minutes. You can extend.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Is it okay if I extend by 5-10 minutes? All the dear participants? Yes, thank you so much, Preeti ma'am.
मैडम बीच बीच में उनको
Yes,
थोड़ा सा
ma'am.
बोलने के लिए
Yes, ma'am.
बोलिए, नहीं तो सो गए होंगे वो लोग.
नहीं मैम, नहीं
मैम,
सो
जिंदा
गई
है, जिंदा है.
हूँ।
सबके responses इतने amazing responses आ रहे हैं.
नहीं
They
ma'am.
are showing.
ओके ओके.
They
यस
are
मैम.
gone throughout. Chat section is filled with responses.
ओके. यस मैम. प्लीज
नहीं नहीं
कंटिन्यू.
मैम, सो नहीं रहे हैं।
Yes, they are very attentive and very, very responsive
बहुत
also. So
अच्छा है।
thank you so much. Yes. So again, you can see the change in the body language here also. Yes, thank you so much. So मैं इसको करके, तो अब कभी कभी होता है कि बैरियर्स हो जाते हैं. We are speaking the right way, but see, this is the last section, and then I will be waiting for your feedback. And thank you so much. We will be waiting for your feedback and your question answers. So barriers to effective communication. Sometimes we may be very, very good. We are very good in speaking, we are very good in listening, but even then there are roadblocks, there are obstacles, there are challenges which we are facing. So how do we do it? हमने यहाँ से तो message भेजा, but there is a big wall. So what will happen? The message will not transfer to that side, and then there is going to be no understanding, and no understanding is misunderstanding. So ये बेचारी, ये देखिए, ये क्यूटी पाई, ये छोटा सा बेबी है, रिसीवर है, he is trying to send the message, this gentleman is trying to send this message, तो barriers को cross करके message जाएगा, और बैरियर्स को आपको ब्रेक करके. सो बैरियर्स क्या क्या हो सकते हैं? कभी कभी बॉडी लैंग्वेज किसी की बैरियर हो सकती है, कभी कभी किसी का माइंडसेट, किसी के एक्सप्रेशन से हमारी हिम्मत नहीं होती है कि हम जाके उनसे बोलें, बिकॉज द पर्सन इज लुकिंग सो अपसेट, सो एंग्री. सो कभी ये जो इमोशंस हैं, इनको वी हैव टू कंट्रोल. We cannot let our emotions overpower us. जैसे अगर कहीं किसी भी चीज से कोई चीज ऐसी हो गई which I'm not happy with and I'm extremely annoyed and I'm extremely angry, अगर मैंने उस टाइम पे गुस्से में अपनी सारी भावनाएं व्यक्त कर दी, तो क्या होगा कि मैंने गुस्सा तो निकाल दिया, बट कम्युनिकेशन चैनल में जस्ट स्टॉप देयर. उसके बाद कम्युनिकेशन का कोई और छोर ही नहीं रहेगा, बिकॉज द अदर पर्सन मे स्टॉप टॉकिंग. सो अगर मैं इमोशनल थोड़ा सा मैनेज कर लें उसको, and then I reach the other person with a controlled voice, in a good tone, with the correct choice of words, in the moderate speed, and have a conversation, so at least if communication channel आगे बढ़ता रहेगा. So many times it happens that because of misunderstanding the communication has stopped completely, because अब हमारे पास कुछ बोलने के लिए है ही नहीं. और वो हुआ क्यों? या तो मुझे गुस्सा आ गया था, या किसी को गुस्सा आ गया था, या मुझे खराब लग गया था, या किसी को खराब लग गया था. तो हमारे इमोशंस ने हमको ओवर पावर कर लिया, and then we just got into this bad phase, and now we are not communicating with each other. So this is something to be checked. Emotions need to be in check. They should not control us. We need to control them. Also watch for non-verbal cues, because what is being spoken is relevant, but what is not being spoken is very relevant too. तो कभी कभी तो मैं ये बोलती हूँ कि the real understanding takes place when you can grasp the silence also in the right way. तो साइलेंस को जब हम समझने लग जाते हैं, नॉन वर्बल क्यूज को जब हम समझने लग जाते हैं, then we can really say that we are we are marching a step ahead towards building better relationships. So these non-verbal cues are extremely crucial. We cannot ignore them. Okay? The feedback that we get, we have to use it constructively. Not कभी कभी हमारे खुद के assumptions अपने बारे में भी होते हैं, and we are not very receptive to what people tell us. Like when I got into training, I gathered feedback from everywhere, and whatever feedback I got, I worked at it. Okay, the person says it could be true, this could be true, this could be true, let me change, and it helped me so much because of the feedback. So feedback को जो मिले आपको, you should be thankful and wonderful and grateful कि wow, this is an opportunity for me to challenge this limitation. And if the feedback is positive, nothing like it, you are already a champion. Amazing. So आगे बढ़ने के ये सब stepping stones है. And let us really grab every opportunity to become a better version of ourselves. Language should be very simple. आप कभी भी किसी की भी speech सुनिए, बड़े बड़े महारथी लोगों की, स्टीव जॉब्स की, किसी की भी, एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम की, कितने भी कोई भी speech सुनिए, they are never speaking difficult language. Language is from the heart. It is just a medium to express our feelings and emotions. Complexity की वहां पे जरूरत नहीं है. So simple language in simple words with correct body language, with correct tone can express volumes. We don't need a dictionary for this. So that is something which we always have to remember. And along with all this, listening, empathetic listening. So when we follow all this, we are definitely going to become better communicators. We will understand each other in a more positive and constructive manner. Okay? So remember, whatever we are, behavior हमारा, क्योंकि हमारा verbal भी है, non-verbal भी है, paraverbal भी है, that means हमारी पूरी personality communication है. तो जो आपकी पर्सनालिटी है वही आपका कम्युनिकेशन स्टाइल है, और जो आपकी पर्सनालिटी दिख रही है लोगों को, वो आपके द वे यू आर कम्युनिकेटिंग. सो बिहेवियर इज कम्युनिकेशन, एंड बिहेवियर shows a lot, talks a lot, and it is not what you say. Your actions speak louder than your words. So your personality, your behavior, your non-verbal language, everything has to be taken into account. ओके? और कभी कभी हमें लगता है, ये तो मुझे जब ये पता चला, आई वॉज रियली टच्ड. हमें लगता है कि बच्चे मिसबिहेव करते हैं, बट बच्चे मिसबिहेव नहीं कर रहे हैं. दे डोंट नो हाउ टू कम्युनिकेट, क्योंकि उनको भी चाहिए कि कोई उनको समझ ले. तो जैसे ही आप उनको अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं, या वी से दैट वी आर कंप्लीटली अलाइंड विथ यू, आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से, you will see a change in the behavior, transformation in the behavior. So what we sometimes see as a failure to behave, it is actually a failure to communicate. So talk about this communication with others so that others also get to learn. Yes, so I'm so happy that oh, there's so many positive comments are constantly are there. So I'll conclude with this quote. Take advantage of every opportunity to practice your communication skills so that when important occasions arise, you will have the gift, the style, the sharpness, the clarity, and the emotions to affect other people. So that is very, very important because we get so deeply affected by how others communicate. So thank you so, so much. And
Thank you so much, ma'am.
thank you so
Yes.
much.
अभी मैं
I'll
पूरा वोट ऑफ थैंक्स तो नहीं दूंगी क्योंकि और 2 दिन आप हमारे साथ में रहेंगे, तो आज के सेशन के लिए मैं सिर्फ थैंक यू कहूंगी। बहुत अच्छा सेशन रहा मैडम, और सारे जो एस्पेक्ट्स आपने एग्जाम्पल्स के साथ जो एक्सप्लेन किए हैं, दोज वेर वंडरफुल।
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much, ma'am.
much. I
Yes.
think if the participants wish to express anything,
Yes.
please,
Friends, you can on your video if possible. And if you want to say
yes,
something, you can.
yes.
Thank you so much, it was indeed really wonderful session. And we are really
Thank,
enjoying the whatever examples you have told. कंसेप्ट तो क्लियर थे बट वो बहुत अच्छे से क्लियर हो चुके हैं। थैंक यू सो मच मैम।
thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, ma'am.
And
Thank you, madam. Enjoyed your session very much.
thank you so much. Abhi, we are going to learn many more things in coming
Yes.
days also.
कल और परसों भी मैडम के लेक्चर्स है, 2 दिन अलग अलग
Yes.
टॉपिक्स पे, तो अपन कल भी मिलेंगे मैडम के साथ। कल अपना शेड्यूल एज इट इज रहेगा मैम। कल अपना 2:30 ही शुरू करेंगे। आज थोड़ा सेशन एक्सटेंड हो गया था, इसलिए 15 मिनट्स लेट शुरू किया, बट टुमारो वी विल मीट एट 2:30 शार्प।
Yes.
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 So thank you so much, ma'am, for today's session, and thank you all the participants. कल का
Thank you,
शेड्यूल,
ma'am.
यस, कल का शेड्यूल आप लोग बताइए। अभी कल सुबह कितने बजे मिलेंगे?
7:45 लॉग इन करेंगे ना।
Yes.
7:45
7:45 for yoga session.
Is it 7?
No. It is 7:45.
Okay. I have
Yes.
seen in the timetable it is
Yes, वो चेंज कर दिया है। 7:45 से रहेगा अपना पहला सेशन, और बाकी के सेशन एज इट इज जैसे टाइम टेबल में मेंशन किए हैं वैसे रहेंगे।
Okay,
ठीक
ma'am.
है,
Thank you.
चलिए, थैंक यू मैडम।
मैम लिंक
Thank you
वही
so
लिंक पे
much.
लॉग
नहीं,
इन करना है।
आज की रात को मैं लिंक अलग से सेंड करूंगी कल के लिए।
जी मैम, थैंक
ठीक
यू।
है, रोज एक अलग अलग लिंक रहेगी। कल के दिन के लिए आज रात को मैं सेंड करूंगी लिंक।
Thank
ठीक
you.
है,
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Please
Thank
take
you, ma'am.
care. See you, everyone. We'll see you